Alright, we are in Tulliyolal, back with Apyaahi's plan, or at least a part of it. Desiree, you returned. Were you able to track down Apyaahi? I see, your methods for testing the mettle of our would-be leaders are as unique as the candidates themselves. Yet learning that our next target is Tulliyolal only makes the sinking feeling in my stomach worse. This revelation doesn't come as a complete surprise, you see. We've heard whispers of a plot against the city, and have been aiding the Landsguard with investigating leads. While you were abroad, some familiar faces showed up to lend a hand. Oh, speak of a ritual. When Brook Evo sent word you meant to pursue Apyaahi, we were eager to join the hunt. Yet right as we were arranging a ship across the ocean, we spied a suspicious group disembarking at the port, and decided we might better aid you by tracking their movements. They claimed to be looking for work and obtained permission to travel to Shalani. Yet upon arriving, they went to work of a different sort, asking anyone they could find about Tulliyolal and the inner workings of its government and defenses. Then not bothering the people of Shalani, they loaf about in Usatawi. The master of a tavern there said the group spent long hours talking to other patrons, rarely ordering a thing and going on about some plan. Clearly they're the enforcers Apyaahi mentioned. We need to find out what they're planning and how Apyaahi's treasure fits into the picture. Then we can figure out how to stop them. Let's split up. If these enforcers are as talkative as they seem, I'm sure it won't be hard to eavesdrop. Let me help too. I have an idea that might make things easier. But it requires Desiree to aid us. I hope you can oblige. Then it's settled. Loshkana, Tepeke, and I will work to uncover the nature of Apyaahi's treasure. These link perch should make it easier to communicate. I bought them from a foreign sailor. I knew it'd come in handy sooner rather than later. Alright, once we've discovered something, we'll meet you at the Airforite Plaza in Usatawi. Now then, follow me and I'll tell you about this idea of mine. What clever plan does she have in store? I have something that will make our job a lot easier. The Dreamweave cocoon. Village Elder understood how much it means to me to bring the Unbound to justice for their crimes, and entrusted me to do so once and for all. You've met with Apyaahi in the flesh, yes? That means you can use the cocoon to imitate her. It can do that? Why, I was ready to use stealth and deception, but this will make getting the information we need much easier. My thinking exactly, but it will all be for nothing if Apyaahi reaches them before we do. So let's make our way to Usatawi at once. You probably don't even need the treasure to fool Apyaahi's underling. I've seen firsthand how skilled you are at the art of disguise. I took a peek inside and saw a few rough-looking types who didn't sound too rowdy gathered around one of the tables. Doubtless they're our targets. There's no one fitting Apyaahi's description, so she probably hasn't arrived yet. Missed our chance. We can hear everything from out here, so we keep watch in case Apyaahi makes an appearance. If you just recall your link pearl. Alright, Desiree. Take the Dreamweave cocoon in hand, and in your mind's eye, envision that wicked woman. You'll be transfigured into Apyaahi. You must remain transfigured in order to progress the quest objective. You will transform back once you move too far away. Look at the map. Oh, boss, wait. You told us not to trust anyone, even yourself. If you are who I think you are, then do the pose. We've all got sore arms from practicing it so much. No one but you could strike a pose half as inspiring. We've been waiting, boss. Now that you're here, that means it's time to mobilize, right? You remember what our plan is? Of course, boss. We each memorize a different part to make sure we don't forget it. We launch our attack from the gates of Tulliyolal. Cerulean barrels will blow it to bits in a fantastic explosion. And Eloret's concoction will give us the strength to crush the landscape like ants. A simple plan for simple villains, don't you think? Keep pressing them for information, Desiree. And what is my role? No one knows. What will you be having? Excuse me, we're in the middle of something. Yeah, mind your business. We'll be moving along, so stop trying to bleed us from whatever coin we have. Desiree, we see the real Apyaahi approaching. We have to buy time. Keep the henchmen talking. You there, excuse me, I wouldn't go in there, but drinks are more water than spirit. Is that so? Well, good thing I'm not thirsty. The food. There's no food either. They sold every last dish. What? And they have a gall to remain open? Greed ran amok indeed. Luckily I wasn't planning on ordering anything. I'd rather die than become a paying customer. Have you no shame? There was something else? I didn't think there was. You were supposed to show up our numbers, right? You said that artifact of yours would give us an army. Well, did it? Desiree, get out of there. She's coming in. Oh, you're already here. You move quickly. But that means we can get started all the sooner. Once Tulliyolal succumbs to our wrath, together we shall celebrate the return of true liberty to Tural. Now, see to your preparations and then join us upstairs. We strike when I give the order. She's even more devious than I imagined. I can scarce wait to see her in shackles. But I know a hasty mishap can quickly lead to ruin. That was close. I didn't know what would happen if you were found out. We couldn't hear what you were saying while you were trying to distract Apyaahi. Did you get anything we can use? That's great. Tenduava and the others have just arrived themselves. Let's go to meet them. Behind them. I heard you transformed into Apyaahi yourself. The very powers of the treasures never cease to amaze. I wonder how their search went. The cocoon is safe with me. While we are somewhat unfamiliar with the world outside Tural, we were able to gather some information which should be of use. I heard you went into Apyaahi at the tavern. Tell us everything that happened. I see. Her plan is to strike at Tulliyolal from the Shalani side. Then we can focus our defenses there. You said the minion spoke of an army being summoned by her treasure. That matches with a story we heard. It was told to us by one of her vipers. We hoped their expertise in tracking deadly beasts, such as Tural Vidral, the very source of our treasure's power, might prove insight into the capabilities of hers. Apparently we received reports that treasures across Tural were falling under the thrall of a Shatona woman. Even the most feral of beasts obeyed her like a docile lamb. I saw Apyaahi command a massive worm. Well, we know now what our enemy is capable of. I've heard that some animals hunt by hypnotizing their prey with sound, smell, or even magical energy. Perhaps the Tural Vidral essence lies in her treasure was one of those, but it's difficult to say which. Even so, we know Apyaahi's plan, the threat we face. We can prepare for whatever she might throw at us. We cut off her advance as Zulga the Boundless. It'll take everything we have to drive her back, but if we fight as one, neither her nor her beasts will take a single step into Tulliyolal. I'll stay here for a while and keep an eye on things. If Apyaahi makes a move, I'll contact you at once. Can you tell Rel Majun what we've learned? She's bringing an army of beasts to our doors. There's so little time to prepare. And if the treasure can bend ferocious beasts to its will, we must consider the possibility it can be used on people too. I bring this information to the Landsguard at once, that they may begin readying the city's defenses. I know neither you nor they will let a single citizen come to harm. This is it, Desiree. With any luck, Apyaahi and her cronies will soon be languishing in cells. You said that the Wama was keeping watch on Satari, right? I suppose no news is good news? Apyaahi and the minions are preparing to depart. It's time, everyone. We make our stand before the gates of Tulliyolal. And here I was hoping that Apyaahi would turn herself in. Well, I suppose she'll have to be brought in by force. She might have the treasure, but she doesn't have our allies, and she certainly doesn't have you. Today we stop the Unbound, and tomorrow we welcome at dawn in Tulliyolal free of their shadow. And of course we have an instance battle. My bow will aim true, I promise. If our guess about the treasure's power is correct, this will not be an easy fight. I saw the Unbound leave Utsathawi. They should be here any moment. I can fight, but I have medicine at the ready. I'll help however I can. Although the circumstances that brought us together were less than fortunate, I'm confident that in the end, we'll be stronger for them. We won't allow the Passage of the Unbound to wreak havoc on Tulliyolal. Today Apyaahi and her ilk answer for their crimes. Battle stages with save points in between, okay. Let's go. They're here. We knew we were coming, Apyaahi. You and your gang of fucks won't be going any further. So you've chosen to join the other sheep, have you? How disappointing. I offered you so much more than the life of a lapdog. I never intended to fight by your side. Of course you would say that. You are Eorzea's savior after all. I knew it from the moment I saw you. I suppose now you're asking yourself why I was so forthcoming with my plans? I wanted you to see what we fight for, to realize the beauty of true freedom, and devote yourself to the pursuit of it as our ally. Alas, your allies only follow you because the treasure has them in its thrall. No one would willingly follow such a reckless leader. Interesting. You think I have the power to command others against their will? Well, don't you? Oh, you're far more foolish than I believed. I would never rob anyone of their freedom. She's gone. Not gone. Here. Look, beasts approach from the Tulliyolal side. But how? We committed too heavily on this side, and now she strikes at our blind spot. We must open the gate. Illusion? The path to a new tomorrow lies ever before us. We need only be brave enough to walk it. Leave this lot to us, you tend to the others. We have to take care of these beasts before going after Apyaahi. Over here, Desiree. Bring them down. Yeah. As I feared, my creatures cannot live up to the real thing. How about this? I'll end this in a single blow. No, you didn't. Attacking from above. Devious. Leave the skies to me. The rest of you, focus on the big one. A tenacious lot, aren't you? Well, I suppose I wouldn't want you to fall too quickly. There's so many, but we will persevere. I can smother them in flames. Let me a protection. Scheming, are we? Don't think I allow you to do as you please. No, my poor, pitiful pets! What an attack. So I cannot rely on numbers alone. Keep distracted, my darlings. You'll be fine. Go after Apyaahi. Sandorama needs help. I might be in trouble. Don't worry, I got you. Something's a little different this time. Behold the fruits of my travels across Dural. Thanks for help. Now to catch Apyaahi. Don't think you've won yet. You're strong to be sure, but so is this. Send your worst, I won't lose. Don't look back. My medicines will keep you upright. Swipe. Limits are just more rules to be broken. This doesn't look good. Not to worry, get behind me and you'll be safe. You survived that? Thank you. Ah, even bugs scrum before they die. This time I finish things. You're stubborn as the mud stuck to my sandals. Yet that alone is not enough to... What? Something's gotten into them. Ow. I admit, I may have underestimated you a lot. And while defeating you would be quite a feather in my cap, the gates of Tulliyolal are a much easier target. Wait! Gosh, she's making a run for it. Follow her, Desiree. Anything that obstructs the free world I aim to create will be destroyed! Must you insist on being a thorn in my side? Very well, then I shall plant the banner of evil upon the corpse of Eorzea's hero, and the meek shall flock to me. Make my fervent desire manifest. Grant me the power to seize undying freedom. The architect, Apyaahi. What? Undead Cactuar? Undead Swole Tendon? Mycotendo. Go forth, my prickly punisher, and crush those who would bind us. My, what's this sudden dreadful feeling? Perhaps I haven't been sleeping well as of late? You're killing yourself with this, right? Something like that? Rotting raw. Mold spores. Impressive. I expected no less of you, but this farce ends here. Now, smash her to a pulp. I don't think so. So you find comfort in fellowship. At least you'll save me the trouble of killing you one by one. With your moment, my pointy pugilist. It's getting even stronger. Desiree, we have your back. Together we repel this foul creature. Keep going, everyone! What? How can you stand before the treasure's might? What are you? Such power. Power would be welcome within the Passage of the Unbound. Do not falter, my spiky soldier. Gather around Desiree, everyone. Can you withstand this? Spread out or be swept away. You scurry about like rats. Pulverize them with this, my barbarian. That poison? Stay away from it. No, even my spiny savior has fallen. I'm not finished yet. I can replenish my ranks. Clunk. It seems I must admit defeat. Yet novice, I do not believe the ideals for which I fought were misguided. Think back upon the leaders who came before you. Those 5 self-serving souls who dared to live as they pleased. Each one the perfect image of liberty, yet ultimate perfection cannot be achieved without ultimate power. That is why we fought, why we became villains, to tear down the world's nations and their stifling rules, so that the voiceless many may speak again. What made you feel this way? Desiree has told you already, surely, yet the exile that emboldened my hatred of meaningless restrictions also led to my awakening. I couldn't have known true freedom without it. As I traveled the world, I noticed the same thing everywhere I went. That the many were bound by the few. In Gridania, citizens are discouraged from joining hands with their neighbors. In Ul'dah, merchants craft laws to exert their control over others. Even in Limsa Lominsa, once lawless pirates are made to bow to the state. Need I say more? The countless guardians who were tricked to sacrificing themselves when the church fanned the flames of war. The people of the East whose entire lives are determined by outdated customs and mores. I had to go west to find what I sought. Here in Tulliyolal I lived a life unbound. Or so I thought. After a terrible tragedy I was forced to find a new home once again. Terrible? What happened? I can scarcely say it. I was asked to pay for my lodgings. Pay? You mean you had been paying all along? Why should I have to trade coin for a roof over my head? In my village, charging for something so essential was unthinkable. So long as one followed the rules, that is. For the first time since my exile, I questioned my path. And I convinced myself that taking care of my drunken sisters night after night wasn't so bad after all. Wait, where did you live again? No, it doesn't matter. Surely, if you can't accept trading labor for housing, you can understand the reason behind trading coin for it. No, money's just another rule that's used to control us. A rule that I won't accept. I was forced to live on the streets. In my tent I plotted. The rebellion would start with me, and end with the authority of every nation in tatters. Yet one day, after long hours of sowing discontent, I returned to find my tent gone. In its place stood a sign that read, "No vagrancy." The last thing you owned was gone in an instant. That can't have been easy. I can understand your perspective, Apyaahi, but a world where everyone that was well pleased would soon fall to chaos. Laws are the only things which keep us from that. And I know firsthand what it's like to be bound by old rules. Rules whose purpose are something baffling. But you don't have to follow them blindly. If you're dissatisfied, you can work to change them. What you speak of, Apyaahi, is not freedom, it is self-indulgence. So you're saying if I change the law, I can do whatever I please? Not a word got through to her. Talking anymore would just be a waste of breath. It's time to put her in chains. This is all you're doing, isn't it? It's time you joined the rest of your minions. Oh. Ah. I won't resist, but this isn't over. Those who share my vision will hear of this injustice and will carry on my legacy. The Passage of the Unbound shall remain open forevermore! Judging by how her force was mostly composed of wild beasts, I take it Apyaahi couldn't send many of her henchmen to Tulliyolal. Perhaps Ryazan's resources have finally run dry. Freedom that harms others is no freedom at all. Living in a society has its challenges, but it allows us to support each other as a group. Finally, the Unbound are in chains. Do you think Itoka would be proud of us? Of me? Anyone who admired Alaret would have twisted mold, but I'm shocked by the depth of Apyaahi's depravity. Your bravery was inspiring, everyone. Apyaahi is in the custody of a Landsguard and her treasure is destroyed. Without their leader and secret weapon, the Unbound may well and truly be finished. You should return to Jabraliev Tir and let Ralmajun know about our victory here. I heard all about your battle with Passage of the Unbound. Leave it to you all not to only capture the leader, but to do so without anyone in Tulliyolal coming to harm. By the way, mages from a Wing of Protection inspected the remains of a beast you fought. Their discoveries were surprising, to say the least. They weren't actually individual organisms, you see, but a collection of minute fungi that had taken the form of familiar creatures. The mages concluded that the Tural Vidral sealed within the treasure was likely once a fungi itself. This explains the sighting of Apyaahi traveling with beasts of all sorts at her beck and call. She built her army by finding the fiercest creatures she could and recreated them with the power of a treasure. But you stood against that army without a shade of fear in your eyes. As a token of gratitude, you're all welcome to tacos on the house whenever you're in town. Speaking of which, I hear Tendoava and the others will soon be returning to their respective villages. Goodbye are always bittersweet, but I'm sure they'd love to speak with you one last time. This short time together with you has reminded me of Visolm and Zarek. I wonder how they fare. Perhaps I'll write them a letter and find out. It seems my parents fell in love with the tacos here while they awaited my return from Fafnir. I'm sure they'd be happy if I brought some home with me. How long do tacos hold? Every time I come to Gibraltar, I'm amazed by all the different kinds of people gathered around its tables. I wish there was a place like this in my village. I want to spend some time in Tulliyolal's market before I return home. I've been thinking a spare pair of spectacles might be a prudent purchase. I neglected to mention this earlier, but I was able to convince everyone back home to stop relying on the cradle. My sleepless days are over, but I've been busier than ever. I've looked into Ishgard's Knights for inspiration on how to build solidarity among the villages. We train together and take turns on watch, among other things. Loazanikwi no longer needs to spend her days abed, and sometimes joins us in our drills. I admit this new life wouldn't be the same without her. A new life for which we both owe you thanks, Desiree. We'll keep striving to follow the example you set for us. My people have accepted the fact that we cannot always rely upon the heart sting, and even now train to build our natural resistance to various toxins. It took some time to figure out the right amounts to use, and I admit there were some close calls, but luckily the heart sting was at our disposal. Yet I believe that our strengths lie in our ability to conquer hardship. I hope one day we can trust in our own abilities. That being said, it's been some time since I had a meal that wasn't laced with poison. I'd forgotten how delicious food could be. The others will be glad to hear how key the Dreamweave cocoon was to our success. And though it seems Apyaahi recognized you from the moment you met, it didn't make a difference, did it? It just reaffirms for me that you've more than earned your renown as a hero. I still aspire to become a hunter worthy of Itoka's legacy, and I know it will take a lot of time and a lot of hard work. For now I focus on keeping my village safe, but I won't stop there. Keep your ears to the ground, Desiree, for someday you might hear tales of Kyuki, a hunter true. Everyone was so brave. My heart always starts pounding when the fighting begins, but I didn't need to worry. Since I'm here in Tulliyolal, I visit the markets before I return to my village. Oh, I almost forgot. Kakulja sent me a letter. He said the authorities have taken his circumstances into account and decided to be merciful. He will be released soon, and just as promised, my village will be the first place he visits. Everyone looks forward to greeting him with open arms. If Kakulja agrees to be our protector, then we can come to Tulliyolal more often. To think the origin of the treasures lie with the Yokhui. Even with such dominating strength as they possessed, they thought still more when their very survival was at stake. My people were afraid of the apex, and so sealed it away within our treasure. But over time, the treasure became as feared as the beast within it. Thus, we never considered using it as a tool to aid us. I've been training hard, and I hope that someday I can help my people view the treasure from a news perspective. It might take a while, but we'll get there. I'm already stronger than the last time we met, right? You don't have to answer. But trust me when I tell you we won't take the easy road like the Razan. Every bit of progress we'll earn through hard work. On that note, as much as I'd like to stay, I suppose we all have homes waiting for us. Let's say our farewells to Brook Evu and Ral Majun. During my time in Ishgard, I realized the cuisines of the world are as varied as its people. No doubt the prospect of discovering new delicacies adds excitement to your travels. I'm glad you got to catch up with everyone. Shall we bring this party to a close then? Be well, everyone. I'll bring Loazanikwi next time. I wanted to meet the people who helped us. Stop by my village if you're ever in the region. I'll treat you to freshly hunted boar. Everyone get home safely. We'll meet again soon. I hope I was able to pay back the debt I owe. If only a little. If you ever need help again, you know how to reach me. It was a long and trying road, but the treasures are finally back in their rightful places. The Passage of the Unbound, with no one to lead their meager numbers, will fade into obscurity. I'm sure we hear no more of them again. Here's to peace in Tulliyolal. Rules, basic social considerations, who needs them? Those pathetic bastards don't even see the yokes around their neck. Did you see how nobly Apyaahi fought? As long as I remember that sight, I'll never turn away from the path she showed us. It's up to us to continue what she started. We don't need those artifacts to bring down nations. We'll find a whole new kind of weapon. The Passage of the Unbound shall remain ever open, and we'll be there to guide others upon it. There's more of you? Criminals over here! By the gods, run! We can't be caught here! Get them! And with that, we get some music. A passage rebound. Sweet justice. I know you've been hard at work helping to solve Tulliyolal's problems, and we're grateful for it. You're welcome to relax here anytime you want. Thank you. How are things? Japanese, apparently. If Apyaahi is to believe, the treasures were created by Yokhui calling himself a wise one. And now that hers has been destroyed, we need no longer fear that they will be misused. The Landsguard told me why Apyaahi founded a villainous organization and what a story it is. A trivial, ridiculous story. Thankfully, without the treasures to rely upon, the Passage of the Unbound has no teeth. No doubt the authorities of nations across the star will root out the remaining members, or I expect the organization will fade into obscurity soon enough regardless. Or so I had thought until more leaders gathered in this very place. Fortunately, they were apprehended almost immediately. Never again shall that abominable group trouble us. Never. Alright, that was it for Apyaahi and the Passage of the Unbound. No, these Rolequests for Dawn Trail were a bit on the ridiculous side. But it was nice for some. But it was nice for once. Good. Until next time, when we play more Final Fantasy XIV. I'm Mace and don't get lost.